To this day.
Drake? The nigga that got bodied by Pusha T?
I hit him clean more times. I beat him.
I hope so.
Okay.
What up, Bushido Spirit, back with another video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear. But I'm talking about Steven Spielberg today. So Steven Spielberg is hating on Netflix again. And he's one of many directors that have come out and discussed their complaints about Netflix even being nominated for Oscars. They don't believe the films that Netflix produce are quality films. They don't believe they deserve to be nominated. They're TV films, is what Steven Spielberg said. Let me go ahead and read the article here. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. The success of Alfonso Cuarón's Roma. Now, Roma is that independent, I think it was like a Spanish-Mexican film that was like critically acclaimed, that should have won the Oscar, but instead they gave it to Green Book. And maybe they gave it to Green Book because of what would have happened if they gave the best picture to like a Netflix film. So I remember several years back, Beast of No Nation was said to be one of the best films that came out that year that it was dropped on Netflix. And people really, the Oscars really wasn't fucking with making that shit best picture. I don't think it didn't even get nominated that year, even though it was one of the better films that came out. All right, the success of Alfonso Cuarón's Roma at this year's Oscars has really pissed off Steven Spielberg, so much so he's reportedly doubling down on banning streaming films from award contention once and for all. A Spielberg versus Netflix battle will be reaching its peak at next week's Board of Governors meeting at the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences, where the director, who's a board member of the directing branch, is planning to propose rule changes that would specifically prevent Netflix and other streaming outlets such as Amazon and Hulu from qualifying for Oscars contention. So this, like, he's really mad. This motherfucker is big mad at these streaming services because they're taking the bag away from them. Like, if you get quality films on Netflix and Hulu, why the fuck would you go to the theater? And I think that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid. They're scared to death of shit like that. You know, Netflix is bringing the material to the people. You don't have to get in your car and drive miles to the theater, wait in this long ass line, out in the cold, have motherfuckers kick your seat, and their phone goes off. You can just watch that shit from the safety of your home. And they are scared to death of that shit happening. And if more people start to realize that Netflix and Hulu are producing high quality, high caliber shit, then they gonna stop going to the movie theaters, especially older crowds, like older people. You see old people all the time in the theaters watching these Oscar pandering movies. Now, and Netflix can produce those same types of movies. Because you got to think about the Oscars really don't nominate these big budget action blockbuster films. They really only nominate these artsy fucking films, these low budget films that are mainly about the story. That's what the Oscar promotes. That's what the Oscar nominates. And those films are they can easily be produced on streaming platforms like Netflix. Like Roma is one of them. So Roma was nominated. That shit is critically acclaimed and should have won. And they're afraid of that. The more, if these Netflix streaming movies start to win Oscars, then people gonna look to Netflix for like other quality films, and it might drop the numbers for people going to the theater. And they are afraid to death of that. I don't think any Netflix movie has won Best Picture yet. But when it starts to happen, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy because a lot of people use the Oscars to decide what to watch. Because a lot of these films that they showcase during the Oscars, people don't really know that these films exist. They only hear about these films through the Oscars. And if the Oscar starts to nominate more Netflix films, people are going to go to Netflix and watch these films and be like, hey, Netflix out here producing quality content. And Netflix is serious about doing original material. That's why they kicked off that's why they kicked out all the Disney shows. Right? They got rid of Daredevil, fucking Punisher, all them shows, Luke Cage. They're trying to produce their own original content. They're trying to make money off the platform. And I fuck with this. And, Steven Spielberg just sounds salty and mad. Matter of fact, instead of complaining about the shit, why don't you do a fucking movie on Netflix and get nominated? Like, fuck the theater, man. I feel like the Oscars should just nominate quality films, whether or not they were released in the theater or not. Like, just nominate quality films. Actually nominate the best films that came out. And not nominate shit that's pandering to you. Like, come on. That's how I feel about the situation. Let me read some more of his comments here. Blah 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 blah. Here's Steven Spielberg's comments right here. Once you commit to a television format, you're a TV movie. You certainly, if it's a good show, deserve an Emmy, but not an Oscar, he said at the time. I don't believe films that are just given token qualifications in a couple of theaters for less than a week should qualify for the Academy Award nomination. So he just sounds mad because they're feeling the pressure. The heat is under their ass right now. They feel it's getting hot. They see that as the years go on, more and more Netflix produced films are starting to make their way on the Oscar stage. Especially documentaries. A lot of documentaries have already been there. I think Icarus won Best Documentary like last year. That's what it says right here. So they feeling that fire and that pressure, man. What are y'all thoughts on this shit? Do you believe streaming services should get nominated for Oscars? And if you disagree, why do you disagree? Do you feel that the quality of film is not the same? I disagree heavily on that shit right there. Beast of No Nation was one of the best films I've seen that came out that year. And the quality was great in that film. Great cinematography. It just looked good. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about by just referring to them as TV movies. First of all, it's not on fucking TV. It's streaming on Netflix, nigga. It's internet, not fucking TV. And second of all, look at did you watch these fucking films? Look at them. Look at the quality. Look at the storytelling in these motherfuckers. For you to even say that it's television movies, I mean, you just sound out of touch, man. Sound like fucking how Howard Stern sounded when he dissed podcasting. Get the fuck out of here. I'm your boy Bushido Spirit. Peace out.